Mark, what do you think?
I have to agree. I mean, frankly, I think the only news that mattered recently to the United States is the FBI agent who was head of the New York branch of the FBI. That's the second biggest office after DC, who was implicated in a providing, I suppose, advanced information to certain oligarchs in order to evade sanctions. And that what happened, I'm not sure, Stefko, maybe you remember exactly when that went down. I think it was a couple of,
Charles
just in January, I
Charles
think it happened.
Charles McGonigal, and Sergei Shestakov, the guys that are working for Deripaska, or took Deripaska's money, and
Right.
just shows really the level of penetration of the Putin's tentacles into the West. I mean, they got an FBI person, an FBI. He was serving as FBI special agent, and he received classified information that Deripaska is going to be added to a list of oligarchs considered for sanctions, and then, offered his services to make a case for Deripaska for not being on those sanctions, but those were unsuccessful. I mean, Deripaska was still sanctioned, but it shows on the one hand, that the standard, how do the Russians or any intelligence agency, how do they work with assets, and they find money, ideology, compromise, or ego. And this, from reading the indictment, it seems it was for the money, and that'll come out. So certainly, this case of Charles McGonigal is more prominent than Malofeyev, and arguably that's because McGonigal, Charles, is American. He's one of ours, so to speak, for the people in the West. And there's another guy mentioned here, Shestakov, Deripaska. Malofeyev would be kind of, in that cast of characters. These other, how many of them are there? It just seems there's an unending supply of swindlers, cheats, and spies. And the only thing I think Malofeyev separates him is he's got a very good name for somebody who does bad things or brings badness. Sorry, my microphone is making some bad sounds. So we'll see. We'll see. Malofeyev, this McGonigal case is still playing out before the courts. The indictment's just been unsealed. So I'm sure that there will be more, and the greatest asset, of course, being, or one of the greatest assets, of course, being the ex-president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and his MAGA supporters, who, Matt Gaetz yesterday submitted a bill about, and they even call it the Ukraine fatigue, about ending U.S. assistance to Ukraine and calling for peace. So you see that the Russians, the Kremlins, they've infiltrated. They've hacked the American political system, and that was clear still with that Cambridge Analytica, Trumpian Steve Bannon world that started 7 years
Well,
ago.
it certainly gives